No, it's not worth it.
Bloody VAR! Bloody VAR-y bastard! VAR!
This is FDT-TV. My name is Phil, and welcome to our lovely podcast where we discuss everything football. But today we have with me,
I'm Mike.
And I'm Ian.
And
I'm Ian.
Hey!
I'm always
They
Ian.
can speak. We're going to talk today about all things Liverpool, West Ham, Arsenal, VAR, and all the wonderful things of football. Some good, some bad. But first of all, we're going to go into one of our regular segments, which I'll hand over to Ian.
That segment is called nothing other than Goal of the Week. There you go.
Epic. So this is our weekly roundup of the weekend Premiership goals. So this week we had a nice selection. We had one I picked from Jota, which was mainly because of the Shaqiri pass through the legs of that West Ham defender. Just loved that. And then we had Kurt Zuma with his absolute bullet of a header into the net, which was incredible. And then we had the worldly goal of Danny Ings. And then I'll just say honourable mention goes to James Ward-Prowse. He got in here last week and he scored 2 blinding free kicks this week. Don't know if you guys saw them.
Yes, mate. They were absolute crackers.
I think he should have had the place instead of Jota.
I agree.
You would. But I wasn't Jota's finish. It was that lovely silky pass from...
It's not
Shaqiri.
pass of the week, is it? It's Goal of the Week.
We're led to the goal. Well, the winner is Danny Ings. With his absolute worldy goal where the net just about stayed attached to the goalposts.
I think it was the bend on it as well, because he was like right on the edge of the 18-yard box, and what a whippage he hit with. I can't remember if Swaz I can't remember if Swaz is that way or that way.
I just think maybe just call it Swaz, man. Just Swaz, isn't it? It's a Swaz.
It went from this way to that way, and it was just a good goal. I pretty much won them.
Maybe we do Swaz of the week.
Swaz
And
of the
even
week.
better, they won against Everton.
Yes, which sadly puts you top of the league.
Mate, the only reason they're top of the league is because Antonio was injured.
Exactly.
We played 80 minutes with 10 men because we had Haller on.
Exactly, mate. That's why I was looking forward to the game when I heard he was out. Right, next up, we have got one good, one bad.
One good, one bad.
Sorry.
You are loving this, aren't you?
Yeah. Shall we go in game order? Or shall we go...
No,
Yes,
go
go-
game order.
Game order. So that was Liverpool West Ham first. I'll go to Ian because I'm very looking forward to hearing what you got to say about this.
Okay, so one good would be we had a very good performance team-wise from 10 of our players. One bad being Sebastian Haller. He's a pile of dog shit. Is what I would say. He doesn't put in any effort. He's not got any quality. He doesn't add anything to the game or the team. Yet we're still playing him week after week after week. Like he comes on as a sub, or say because Antonio's injured, he's the only other striker. Get Ben Rama up front. Get Yarmolenko up front. Put Darren Randolph up front. I think he'd do a better job. You know. One bad is that bloody Sebastian Haller. Go on.
Do you think that's just a consistency that is not really getting a run of games anymore?
No, I think he had. Well, I don't think. I know he had one good season in Germany, which is not as competitive of a league, with a world-class striker next to him in Luka Jovic, who made him look good. He raised him up. That you think the how good that Leipzig, it wasn't Leipzig, it was Frankfurt, how good that Frankfurt team were that season. It was He's never done it before. He's never reached double figures before. That was a one-season wonder. And we go, oh, throw money at him like we do for strikers. And
he's the most amazing thing in the world.
He's lazy.
He's done nothing.
Yeah, he just
waits for it.
He's lazy. The worst bit about it, right, is, I mean, a lot of people gave Simone Zaza a lot of stick because he just couldn't find the back of the net, but he put in effort every week. With Haller, he doesn't put in any effort, yet he has found the back of the net a couple of times. You know, you're like, I'd rather have someone who run about a lot. All right, they can't score, but at least they add something to the team in a bit of a press, you know?
Bobby Firmino is a good example.
Bobby
of that.
Firmino is
score.
rubbish. He's rubbish.
You would love to have him in your team. His work rate is incredible.
Might be incredible. He can't score.
Because he sets it up for everyone else.
That's all I'm saying to that.
Right. On the same game, one good for me, I will have to say, is the win against a tough, unorganised West Ham. I know you played 5 at the back, but you really made it difficult to play around. And you were organised for a majority of the game. And it took us having to bring on different people to get around that, which I thought was good. And Shaqiri making an incredible, lovely little nutmeg pass for a goal. I'm sure you hate seeing that over and over again when your two defenders just kind of looked at each other after and went, did you not want to run with him? Did you not want to run with him?
I've said this for a couple of weeks. If you've watched the lineup predictions, it went through Balwaina's legs, who for me is the weak point in that defence. He's done all right, but for me, you've got to put Diop in there for now. That's where we're leaking our goals from. That and
change it up.
Salah's diving,
and our leak is Gomez. I have to say he's another bad performance. That kid needs to kind of take a break for a little bit and give the others a chance. Like
what
Nathan
others?
Phillips was really good.
You ain't got any others. They've all died, haven't they?
Oh yeah, one has died. There's more coming back, and we've got some youth players.
And then not speak ill of the dead.
We're not speaking ill of the dead. We're just saying he is dead. Anyway, then we had Arsenal versus
Manchester
Man
United.
Big game, really big game of the weekend.
Yes.
What's your takeaways, Mike?
Chinese, if possible. They love Chinese.
I enjoy things like that. That was a kebab. That wasn't a Chinese.
If you need it more direct, I'll ask again. What was your one good and one bad from that game?
So I've got to be honest, I was very downhearted last week with the performance that we had against Leicester. I thought we were absolutely terrible, and I was expecting, to be honest, kind of the same sort of thing. I'm glad to say that I was proved wrong, and we come away with the 1-0 win. My one good... It's really hard for me to pick one good about this game because I thought tactically, I thought we were brilliant. I've seen that Thomas Partey was our man of the match, but I'm going to be slightly controversial here and say that our one good is Mohamed El Neni. I think he's been absolutely brilliant since he's come back from playing in Turkey. Was one of the shocks, I think, from the majority of Arsenal fans that he was sticking around. I know there was talks about him potentially going back to Turkey, but he turned around and said to the boss that he wants to stick around and fight for his place. And my God, is he doing it? And I think he's kind of one of the unsung heroes for us at the moment. So I'm going to give Mohamed El Neni the good. There are some very, very close honourable mentions from the likes of Thomas Partey. I thought Gabriel again has been absolutely brilliant since he's come over to us at the start of the season. Bearing in mind he didn't really have any time to adapt. Aubameyang for getting on the goal, but definitely from my pick of the week is Mohamed El Neni. The one bad. What can I say about the one bad? Do you know what? I'm not going to give a one bad this week.
Solid all-round performance then.
Do you know what? It's one of the best defensive displays that I've seen from us for a long while. Just because everyone was kind of mucking in. Granted, in fact, no, I will change that. The one bad is that we didn't score from open play. It had to come down to a penalty, and I would like to see us score again from open play. So I think that's something that we need to work on. We did have a couple of chances. There was one that hit the crossbar, a couple of good saves, a couple of mediocre saves that you would expect your Nan to be able to pick out. But yeah, I'd say to be more creative and score from open play. But it's good to see Aubameyang on the score sheet as well.
Yeah, and it was one of those controversial penalty decisions that were many of the weekend. Like
more nailed on than yours was.
I was going to say,
it's still a light tap and he goes down.
More nailed on than yours was, mate. Jesus.
It's loads. And that takes us nicely to VAR, our most favourite subject.
I haven't got a soundbite for that.
Bastard. VAR! There you go. There's your soundbite.
I want to use that for absolutely everything. That's my favourite thing. I do think we should have some sound bites. One of them, every time you mention Gabriel, we need to have. Oh, he's a good-looking chap, and then that's the intro for VAR. It's happening. That's what we need.
Ooh, he's a good-looking chap.
I'm glad I helped. It's been my only input this week.
Fantastic.
So now we go to VAR and all the controversy from the weekend. I'm sure there was a lot of penalties given this weekend, some good, some bad, and some just downright questionable.
Yeah.
Go on, Ian.
Right,
I can see you like.
Ian waiting to boil up.
Here's my thing.
I'm going to start off with Harry Kane.
Oh, I don't care about
against
Harry Kane.
Brighton.
Didn't see it.
And how shocking that what should have been a free kick against Lallana was turned into a penalty for Tottenham.
Why are you surprised at that?
I am so shocked. It's such a surprise that could actually happen in the game, and that
we did see a first.
But Lallana didn't do anything. He was standing there, went for the ball, and Kane just decided to go, "Oh, what's the nearest player? I'm going to jump into you."
Well, we have seen a first this weekend, though, with a referee being referred over to the pitchside monitor and sticking with his decision. That's the first time that's ever happened. So that's good.
Progress.
Well,
it's only taken a year and a half.
But
there's
two times this weekend it's been referred over to the screen, hasn't it? So that's good.
Yeah.
What I want to know is what are the rules on diving?
How do you sleep at night, Phil?
No.
Quite easily, actually.
The reason, me and Phil had a discussion with some heated words about certain players. We won't go into those words because they're not particularly pleasant. But if for me, right, I would have said yes, that was a penalty. He did catch. He got the bottom of his foot kicked, so it's light. But you get some of them, and he did get trodden on. So you could go twice there. That potentially foul, so should have been a penalty. But then why does he go down from the chest? That's
simply to make a decision for the referee.
But then you're making it. What's the word? You're exacerbating the foul, which is against the rules of the game, which is a yellow card.
But then if you don't do that, then then you don't get anything.
But then what? No,
and then it just carries on.
What he should have done. What he should have done is played to the whistle and then said to the ref, "I got kicked and trodden on. You need to refer it," because VAR should be picking that up.
That's what I was just about to say. VAR should say you've missed something here, but I think you two are missing something massive here.
Go on.
Did anyone take into account any snipers around the stand or anything? Well, from what I saw, he was shot pretty good.
Originally, I thought about that, but now I thought no one's allowed in the stadium. So
that's why it's
apart from some security guys, you never know.
Up in the gods, mate.
But the bit that frustrates me, right, is when was it Van Dijk was injured? 2 weeks ago? On Twitter, Liverpool fans were calling for VAR to be scrapped and people to lose their jobs. Yet when this one, when you look at it, Micah Richards said, "I didn't think it was it. It was a penalty until I watched it slowed down, and he got kicked. It wasn't from the dive that he thought it was a penalty. It was from the big swinging kick from Arf Masuaku." But I forgot where I was going with this now. But if you've Liverpool fans, wasn't it? My brain's back on. But there was nothing but praise for the VAR decision for the penalty. Yet it was clearly a dive.
It's not about the dive, though. It's about the fact that
it's still a dive.
Created a foul. Who cares if it was a dive?
But if you're going with what you was all saying 2 weeks ago, VAR should have looked at it and gone penalty. Also, he needs a yellow card.
The dive may not. I agree that the dive is not necessary.
What you're saying then? You're condoning diving. Diving is okay in the box to get a penalty.
I hate diving, no matter what happens.
You just said it's part of the game.
But it is part of the game.
It's not part of the game.
I hate it, but it's part of the game. Everyone does it. What happened to your Bellerin, Mike? Didn't he not go down so easily with a little tap?
Yeah, no, that was a foul.
It was a foul, but he still went down easily. Callum Wilson goes down easy. Harry Kane. Every player.
But they don't go down from the chest. They don't go down from the chest.
They'll go down.
But they don't go down from the chest. It does, of course it does.
Doesn't matter where it's from.
They all go down. Go down from the contact.
It's part and parcel of the game. Today's game. It's frustrating as hell. That's what happens.
You're frustrating as hell.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, scrap VAR, fire people. This week,
I didn't say that, did I?
Well, no, you didn't.
Other fans said it.
You said he should be murdered in his sleep, but. No, it's just frustrating that I would have given it as a penalty, but it was also a dive. So surely one rules out the other because they're both as bad as each other. If it had been
there is technicalities there, but then
if it had been the other way around,
if it doesn't fall over, is it going to be a penalty?
Should be because VAR should look at it.
Oh, carry on because I looked at it. The referee goes, I saw it, but I didn't see it as an issue.
But that's what VAR
is for.
VAR
just go, okay, that's fine.
No, but that's what VAR is for. Do that? But they should do because that's what it's there for. To say you miss it.
I would love to have seen it if this shoe was on the other foot.
But that's what I was going to say. If we'd got into the box and Joe Gomez had took a big swinging hook of a kick at Pablo Fornals, whoever it would be, and he went down from the chest, would you be saying he shouldn't receive a yellow card for diving?
No, I'll be saying that's a penalty. That's it.
So,
it's a foul, it's a penalty. End of.
Nah, sorry. I
they got it right though. They still got it right on taking off Mane's goal or Jota's first goal.
What for kicking someone in the face? Isn't that the second time he's done that?
Well, they're both accidents. He doesn't mean to go up and kick people in the.
I don't know.
He was going down this one. He was on the way down.
So. Don't know where you are, mate.
One of those things. So, Mike, how about you? You got any bar opinions from the weekend? That doesn't include Liverpool or West Ham?
From a neutral point of view,
I love it this week.
From a neutral point of view, what was your perspective on that situation? I'm interested to hear.
Phil's automatically going to think I'm going to get just because he's a Liverpool. But I thought that was a majorly soft penalty. I really did. And I'm sure you would say exactly the same thing about the Arsenal one, as you've just said. I thought that was clearly a more nailed-on penalty than what your one was. As soon as I saw it, I was like, someone shot him. Oh my God, he's gone down. Is he going to be all right? And then I saw it. I was like, are you joking? You've scuffed the bottom of his foot with the other guy's feet. I was like, nah. But I would have been outraged, and I would have apologized first thing. I'd have been like, oh, sorry.
So
if we'd have got a penalty, I'm going to say I would have gone.
So do you think then that dive should be looked at retrospectively?
I would say it's a tough one, isn't it? Because we can sit here and say yes until the cows come home, but we know exactly what's going to happen. Is that they're going to say, "Well, we reviewed it at the time and it was a penalty. We decided it was a penalty."
Yeah. No, I can go with it, but I've admitted. I think it should have been a penalty because it was a wildly reckless challenge. Yes, he just caught him, but it was the way in which he went down, which I have issue with.
But Ian, is it classed as a dive? If then I thought diving you don't get fouled, but if you get fouled and then come down, is that diving, or is actual diving you don't get touched and you just fall to the floor?
Diving, right? He got kicked in the bottom of the foot, right? So when you look at professional fighting, if someone gets kicked in a leg, they go down backwards. If that's the way the momentum was going, right? He didn't. He then planted his foot, which got trod on, and then went. There was no kinetic energy there to take him down. Yes, I get what you're saying with you've got to go down for it to be looked at, but that's not VAR should be going. That looked reckless. Let's look at it. Do you know what? If he'd gone down, he wouldn't have got his foot trod on.
I'm not trying to stir the pot here, and I'm not being Mr. Typical Arsenal. I hate Liverpool fans. My usual self. I'm not being my usual self. Yeah, but I had to watch that, and I'm not exaggerating. I watched that at least 11 times to see what the sort of contact was and how that was given as a penalty. Because I couldn't tell if I was missing something. But I honestly I thought that was a really soft decision.
It was soft, but you see him go. You see him going for you. You see him go against you. I'm quite happy that it was a penalty because it was wildly reckless, and it potentially could have done some damage.
It wasn't needed.
No.
Do you know what I think is quite unnecessary, and that was the screaming.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's one thing I do. The one thing I don't condone is, or I do condone, is the actual screaming. There's no need just to go.
No, you don't condone it. Do
you know what I would have that wound me up a little bit was, and I quite like him as a pundit. Was Graham Souness, however he pronounced his name. Because he was saying, "Oh yeah, it was really bad." Da 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 da. If he'd been playing in that second half, he would have snapped that player who dived on the floor like that. He would have snapped him in half and gone, that's why you go down. And that's what winds me up. It's because it was Liverpool. When it's Manchester United that dives, he's really hot on it and says, it's disgusting, da da da. When it's Liverpool, really bad challenge. Shouldn't be in the game. And that's that.
Because he played for us and he's quite a bit biased.
Yeah, it is.
But I think this is prudent to point out here, is that when Pickford got injured, Graham Souness was like, this was disgusting, blah, 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 blah. And even Jamie Carragher pulled him out on it and said, hang on, if this was back in your day, it would have been like, I'll get out of your worst, like, move on sort of thing. And he said, you would have, like, destroyed him if it was, like, if that had gone down in your era, sort of thing. It wouldn't have even been looked at. And, I get what you're saying.
But to say, I like him. I think he's one of the best pundits recently. And I think he's pulled up a lot of stuff, but it just when it comes to Liverpool, it's just
glass eyes.
Yeah,
potentially. Yes.
Right. Do you guys actually see the rugby tackle this weekend? It seems that rugby tackling other players in set pieces is acceptable in the Premier League.
Yes.
Go on. Who was that? I missed that. I've not seen.
Harry Kane done it.
Brighton's first game,
and then Brighton's Spurs as well.
Wasn't that on pay-per-view though?
I only saw the
highlights package. I haven't. In fairness, when Tottenham comes up on the highlights package, I go, nah, I'm all right.
I had to watch them just to see how good these goals were, and they were terrible. But anyway, so
didn't Gareth Bale score?
Yes,
scored the winner. I see that. Well,
finally, from an assist from his Real Madrid colleague.
What? Who? Reguilon?
Yeah, Reguilon. I think it's all he's done. Ever since Reguilon plays, all he does is just pass the ball to Gareth Bale.
I'm not being funny. He's, 32 years old. And he's on a fair old bit of bunts at Real Madrid, right? He's obviously got quality, and I appreciate he's had a few injury problems and all that sort of stuff. But I am dreading playing Spurs if he's fully fit. Honest to God, because he loved the goal against us, and I think if he's fit, he starts against us. And we've got the likes of Son, Harry Kane, Gareth Bale,
And then
against our defence.
Yeah,
they'll take any opportunity just to hammer.
I feel like when they played us, he was lacking match sharpness because he hadn't played properly, had he, in a couple of years. And you see that that nice through bit on goal and then just missed the goal. And I think that was just rustiness.
Yep.
Luckily
I am
for us.
worried about him this season.
When have you got, Mike? Is it later in the season?
December time, I think.
He'd be injured by then.
I don't. Sorry, that comes. I hope it's like some sort of muscular injury, not that he's actually broken something. Just because I'm worried about him.
You just don't want to play him, do you, against him?
No.
Jordan
I
Pickford.
don't think many people do.
Jordan Pickford's been dropped, so there's no chance of him doing that again.
I think he's been rested, hasn't he?
No, they dropped him.
Yeah.
Ancelotti pretty much said he's been made too many mistakes.
And then how many goals they let in at the weekend?
3?
4?
I don't know.
Yeah. 4-3, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, they were 3 down, I think, at one point. Wow. How the mighty fall. Well, not mighty fall. They weren't mighty in the first place. They were just
Oh, top of the
having a
league,
good
mate.
run. They were. Right. Score updates, mate. So,
Yes.
how are we getting on this week? Mr. Horse, this is your little baby.
Yeah, but I want some like fancy
Intro.
Yeah.
What do you want? Do you want it harmonised again?
Yeah. So nice.
And what do you want? You want
So, over to Ian.
score update.
That'll do. Perfect.
I've got no idea what that sounded like, to be fair. So
Amazing. You'll find out. You'll find out. They are incredible. I love it.
We're loving it.
the best bit is when he doesn't actually record the sound and it's just my horrible voice.
And even still, that works.
No, it'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Right, so the 2 games last weekend, Liverpool, West Ham, and Man United, Arsenal, as we've already discussed. Ian, you had the game down as a draw for 2-2. Phil, you had a 3-1 win. And I had a 2-1 win to the Liverpool. So 0 points down to Ian, 1 point to Phil, 3 points to me.
I'm representing Luxembourg at Eurovision, so I'm used to nil point.
Okay, that's fine.
I should have had all points there, Mike. If that goal hadn't been taken off, it would have been 3-1.
He
That's
got
like
kicked in the face. It weren't nowhere near a goal. If anything, it should have been 1-1.
He should watch his comments back. He said, "Oh yeah, I think the second goal was alrightly chalked off."
Yeah, it was alright.
Oh, you lied.
But if it hadn't, I would have won.
Well,
Man United versus Arsenal.
I'm sure we got this one right.
Ian, you had 1-2
2
to Arsenal.
Yep.
Phil, you had 2-0 to Man United, and I had 2-0 to Man United. As we know, the score was 1-0. So Ian, you come away with me and Phil, nil point. So the week's scores are as follows: 1 for Ian, 1 for Phil, and 3 for me. And that puts the season's totals up. Are you ready? I'm not. Where's it gone?
Waiting in anticipation.
We
he's
have
building it up.
Ian.
Yep.
You are on 10 points.
Woo.
Phil, you are on 12 points.
What?
You got to be on about 17, didn't you?
Michael, I'm on 20 points. I need the boys, the trophy's mine again.
He's cheating.
Right.
Of course I am.
So if I've just got a question. If we've got, if we've done the score updates, does that mean the next thing that we've got is
Score predictions.
You are correct.
That's correct. Yes.
We have actually got 3 games on this weekend. We've got West Ham at home to Fulham. Then we have Man City taking on Liverpool. And finally, Arsenal take on Aston Villa.
Mm-hmm.
Some interesting games this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Ian, do you want to take us a rundown of Fulham's visit to the east side of London?
Yes. So what I will say is, hang on, sorry, my mouse is broke.
Insert that clip here.
What I will say is Antonio potentially is injured. David Moyes hasn't won except from the first game of his return without Antonio in the squad. He's out with a hamstring injury. Don't know how long that's for. Hopefully it won't be too long and he will be back in the squad. If not, by God, I hope he doesn't go with Sebastian Haller again. I think that's the point where people start calling for his head again. But we have got Yarmolenko, who played up front for Ukraine. We have got Said Benrahma, who has played up front before for Brentford. So we have got options there for players to play up front, albeit a little bit of an odd formation. Even Jared Bowen could play up there. So, that being said, Fulham haven't won a game this year. They're a little bit rubbish. We're in good form. We're at home. 3-0 to West Ham.
Good, solid result, Mike.
That's what I'd say.
Just to pull you up on your point there, at the time of recording this, Fulham have won their first game. 2-0 against.
Yes.
2-0 against
West Brom. They're off the bottom.
When did they win that?
Today.
This evening.
Literally just finished. Well, I finished about 10, 15 minutes ago.
Doesn't count though, does it?
No. I just wanted to throw a spanner in the works and be a dick.
Monday Night Football
all
doesn't
right,
exist.
all right. Fulham have won one. Let me try it. Fulham have only won one game, but they're rubbish. They beat West Brom, also rubbish. 3-0 West Ham.
Phil, got him.
Okay. Right, so West Ham, Fulham. Now, I base this on the fact that Fulham have actually scored some goals.
Fulham?
And actually, Fulham have scored some goals. And they actually looked dangerous the last few games. And they've been on the edge of actually getting points and winning. So hopefully, they're going to do over West Ham with Sebastian Haller up front, who will do nothing all game long until potentially Benrahma comes on and gets a goal as well. But I'm going West Ham 1, Fulham 2.
Okay.
Mike,
Cool.
What do you think is going to happen?
I think 3-1 to West Ham.
And why?
Quick and simple.
No, I think he makes some good points there. Fulham only won this season. They have been pretty poor. I think they've got a big ask to stay in the Premier League this year. West Ham, I know you've said you've got the issues with strikers, etc. But I think, to be honest, I mean we've been pretty low scoring, but even we managed to bang 3 past them. So I would say, even with your striker issues, I think you'll be able to smash them up, bruv. So I've gone 3-1.
Happy days. I think I'm going to lose out on this one. Man City, Liverpool.
Yes, that's
This
usually
is
a start then, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll start on this one. So Man City haven't been playing that great recently. Aguero's injured. He loves to score against us. So that's one equation out of the picture. Happy days. They haven't been in great form. I mean, they've got some results. They've been not scoring huge amounts of goals like they have been in previous seasons. There seems to be players that are a bit missing, coming back, and it doesn't seem to be working too great. There's mistakes there. There's potential opportunities to come in and score. So that's, I think, where we'll come in. We've got some issues, but we've got players back. Matip's coming back, which is fantastic. As long as we got Phillips, who had a fantastic man of the match performance the weekend. Let's hope Klopp rewards him and starts him again at the weekend. I think he could do really well there alongside Matip. get rid of Gomez for a little bit, put him on the bench. It'll really help out. I think we've got a few midfielders returning. Shaqiri played an absolutely outstanding part of the game at the weekend, so he's giving options. Jota has been getting better and better each game that he's played, even though he gets a little bit of time. But he's scoring goals, which makes a difference. And to be fair, I think it's going to be a close one. I'm going Man City 1, Liverpool 2. And I think we'll nip it in the end with some of the changes that we've got to make in the latter parts of the game.
Fair enough. Do you want to take next, Mike?
Yeah, go for it. I've gone for a 2-2 on this one. I think there is a derailment coming for Liverpool. I actually think Spurs will go top at the end of this weekend.
I'm sure that pains you to say that.
It won't be. It won't. They'll have a collapse. You know what they're like. They're bottle jobs. They'll fall away. But yeah, I just think this is going to be a cracking game. Well, there's nothing else that we can do this weekend because of certain situations. So I'm very much looking forward to this one. I shall be watching it. I think you have shown some defensive frailty since old VVD, may rest in peace, has been out. And yeah, I'm going to go for 2-2 on this one.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with Mike. You're going to lose. Just because
Mike didn't say that we were going to lose.
Well, he said you've got defensive frailties, and I think you're going to lose. So I feel like Man City will go 2-0 up, and then Mohamed Salah will dive, and you'll get a penalty, and it'll be 2-1 to finish. That's what I've gone with.
Nice.
Fantastic. And is that because you just don't like Liverpool at the moment?
No, it's just that's the way you play. Like, if that's what you want to support and condone, then I mean, have at it. Like, but it'd just be you and Manchester United in your own league. You can
Screw
dive
Man
all you
United.
like against each other, and everyone will be happy.
That's just called Olympic diving. They need a swimming pool for that, not a football pitch.
See now, if we'd been doing this circa 5 years ago, you would have been, when Salah did play for Chelsea, you would have been saying, well, he goes to the Chelsea School of Diving, doesn't he? Because he did the same things there when he scored. What can I say?
It's just if you get touched and you get fouled to go down. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
I just hate
To be-
cheaters.
To be fair, when I get touched, I go down. So.
Dirty boy.
Right.
Nothing.
On to the last game. We've got Arsenal taking on Aston Villa. So this could be quite an interesting game to see with both teams with some form. Mike, this is your baby.
It is my baby, and I think this is going to be a great test for us because, as you said, Aston Villa have done fairly well already this season, thanks to the old boy, Emi Martinez. Granted, they have shipped a few goals this weekend. I do think that we are going to have to. I think I need to be on the fence with this one. I don't want to seem too confident because when I was miserable as fuck, we said that we were going to get beaten. We win, and I've been fairly confident in previous weeks, and we've lost. So, but anyway, Emi Martinez, I think, will do well for us.
For us, yeah, you would do well for you.
For Aston Villa, this weekend.
He won't play. He'll just stand there and let you score as many goals as you like, just because he was your ex-employee.
No, I think he's going to have a point to prove. And I think we have definitely seen signs of more creativity from Arsenal over the last few games. With the fixture congestion, obviously, due to the Europa League that we've seen already, we have seen some squad rotation, and I definitely think that helped. And I think it will help again. But I'm going to put us down as 2-1 winners over Aston Villa because we're playing at home as well. we got a pretty decent record at home.
It's really good to hear that you credit Aston Villa's great success this season down to their goalkeeper.
Well, Sheffield are not doing bits, are they? They had Dean Henderson last year. Goalkeeper's worth points, boy. You should know that.
Worth points. Yeah, imagine, yeah.
But how many years you been moaning? Oh, we need a decent goalkeeper.
Forever. And then we get one, and it was a massive, massive difference. As well as a good defender. May he rest in peace.
You give us your prediction, Phil.
So, I'm going to start off with this one. Arsenal 1, Aston Villa 2. I think there's going to be some goals. I think Aston Villa are playing at the moment with no fear of any teams, and I think they'll just have it at Arsenal. And unfortunately, Arsenal don't seem to be, as much as they're creating in midfield, they're not just scoring. Simple as that. Aubameyang hasn't scored in open play for a while now, so that may continue. It might be a tough match in the midfield. I think there's going to be lots of little personal battles going on, but I feel that Villa will come through and just nip this one.
Makes sense. I have said that Aston Villa will win 2-1. I feel like Emi Martinez is going to have a quite a good comeback to Arsenal. He knows those players very well. He's trained with them for years. So putting one past him could potentially be a bit more difficult if he knows sort of the players and what they do and their little traits and how they show where they're going to go. And I do think Aston Villa have recruited very well this year. They've supplemented that squad to help Jack Grealish out, so he's not the only one trying to pull the team along. So I've gone 2-1. I think Arsenal will take the lead though, and then they'll drop the ball, so to speak.
See, I think the other way around. I think they'll go 1 up, and then that's going to give us the impetus to go on. Not impotence, Phil. Yeah, I think it'll give us the impetus to go on and fire a rocket into the top corner and Willian to bend one in.
With you saying that, do you not think that should hashtag impetus should be
Word of the week.
Yes. I love it.
Hashtag impetus. That's a good word, Mike. I like that.
Impotence.
No, impetus.
Impetus.
It's mean different things. One you
completely.
You can get a pill for one.
I think there's pills for other stuff as well, but that's a slightly different thing.
Yeah, we'll leave that
there.
Right then, let's hope it works. So, any other business, chaps?
I think there should be a 15-game ban for people who die from the chest. Just think
we'll see half the strikers in the league will just disappear.
Not us, mate. We're fair.
You don't get in the box to dive, man.
Exactly. Therefore, we can't be accused of it.
Any other business? I just feel like with VAR, obviously we discussed this in some depth last week. We have controversies now more often than we had when it was just referees. Yep. There has been more use of the touchline monitors, which I think is fantastic. But there just needs to be more consistency with it. And be clarity as well is probably the word I'm looking for. Be clear and consistent. And I think even if it takes 10 minutes to look at something, providing you're clear at what you're looking at and why you're looking at it, and you're consistent with the rulings of it, everyone... You're not always going to please everyone because people will go, against my team, I don't like it, regardless if it's the right decision or not. But just, they need to start upping that, being more clear and more consistent for me.
I think it's going to be a passing fad. They'll look at the monitors for a few weeks and then it will kind of die out again. That's what I think.
They need to do it. They really, really need to do it. It was the only way to actually have any sort of consistency is to do that. Otherwise, you're just getting different people in at Stockley Park every time, and it's just going to end up the same every weekend. Mistakes.
I think it's a slight throwback to one of our very early podcasts when we discussed VAR. And I said I was speaking to someone who lives in Germany, and they said that they've had it for 3 seasons, and it was only good in the 3rd season of them having it, and they said you will hate it up until they get it right in the 3rd season. So we've only got another
season to go then.
How many games are we in? 6 games. We've only got another 20 odd games to go.
32.
32 games to go. So hold tight.
It's not far.
We're going into lockdown again, aren't we?
Yeah, this is one thing I wanted to ask Ian and Mike. Do you think it's fair that football should continue and be one of the elements that professional players, footballers can go out there and continue as normal when a lot of other industries are being shut down?
Yes. No, go on. I'll let you go, Mike. Go on.
I was going to say yes. I like the fact that they are continuing. The reason being, I think Ian hit the nail on the head last week or the week before. That football to the nation is so important to quite a lot of people. Is one of the things that they look forward to every week. There's regular testing within the Premier League, certainly within the Premier League. So they are taking measures to ensure that the players are safe, that they're not mixing in the incorrect circles. And if they are, then they're ousted from the team. It gives people something to look forward to. So I think it's a small sacrifice to please the masses. I know that sounds extremely selfish, but because of the regular testing, they are professionals at the end of the day. And I get that other people are professionals in whatever field or sport that they're in. But for me, it's an entertainment industry. And I think with people being, when I say forced into lockdown, it's not like we have a choice. We've been told by the government this is what we have to do. So if we are under those circumstances, we need something that's going to entertain us. And I think that is a great way for the people to be entertained.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you've said there. It is a case I feel we will see. They will probably put stricter things on players, requirements on players, and there will be bigger punishments if they are breaking those COVID guidelines, because there has been some players who have broken them and been punished for it. They've been dropped from the squad for 2 weeks and made to isolate. They are testing weekly. I think that will probably go up. It will probably be twice weekly that they test. But yeah, it is that little bit of joy, isn't it? The weekend after a frustrating week of working or being furloughed that you look forward to drag a lot of people through until Mo Salah dives and gets a shitty penalty, and then you just wish it was cancelled.
I think one of the benefits to this lockdown compared to the last one is that we've been told, granted it is subject to change, and I get that, but this one is for 4 weeks. Before, we had no idea how long the lockdown period was going to go for. So I think for the sake of 4 weeks, for the majority of people to be told that they can't mingle in other circles unless you've got your special exceptions, and again I get that, but for the sake of 4 weeks, when they've already got a pressing schedule for making sure they get through all the relevant football competitions and the very very likely / unlikely event of the Euros or wherever it is next year, they need to get through these games, because if that does go ahead next year, they ain't going to hold off for us if we haven't finished our Premier League.
Oh, and that means West Ham will win.
Or that.
We only get one player called up.
To us.
What was that, Phil?
I said just hand it to us. We win. Simple as that.
No.
England for the Euros.
Oh,
Happy
England
days.
for the Euros. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Liverpool Premier League.
No, you'd probably say Liverpool wants the Euros now. Just give it to us. We win everything else. Just give it to us.
We've won the world.
We'll hold it for 4 years. It's fine.
But I think it's a good thing. It's great for mental health to watch sport, and the amount of passion that is in this country for football. It's people's lives, and to have that outlet, it will make such a huge difference to to well-being of a lot of the nation, which is good.
Definitely.
So it's a bonus and a big 2 thumbs up, and thank you, Mr. Boris, for allowing it to happen.
Get the fans back in the stadium.
Yeah.
Obviously, once the lockdowns happened.
Once December comes.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah.
You got to sacrifice a little thing for the greater good sometimes, don't you? So
the greater good.
The greater good.
Oh, high five. High five?
Oh. What?
I don't know. I thought he said his Wi-Fi was going in, but
so I said, has someone frozen? Because it looks like I've frozen.
Yeah, it was you.
I thought he said high five. I'm like, what are you on about?
High five. Right, any other business?
No,
any other football news that come in? Any transfer talk from your teams?
Transfer window's over till January. Allegedly, I haven't seen any more about Declan Rice's big contract. All I've seen is that Chelsea are going to ship off Kante and someone else to buy him in January. So we'll wait and see.
Season could be over come end of January.
Nah.
I seriously don't think you'll get rid of him in Jan. It's going to have to be some mega money.
If he does go in January, I can see it being a £200 million deal.
Wow.
I think you're going to be mega money for that deal to go through.
It's one of those. It doesn't strike me as someone who will throw a strop about it. So, like, if he does move for big money, but he's put in effort, maximum effort up right till the end, then you give him your good graces and you say good luck.
Yep.
Just don't score against us because otherwise we'll hate you forever. But say he deserves to be playing in the best leagues with the best players, and I don't feel like he'll ever get that at West Ham. I think he could go down as a club legend. Quite certainly. Even at his young age now, he's almost at that status of club legend. He's already taken the captain's armband. But
off another club legend.
Yeah, but you'd have to if he down tools and he didn't want to play and he threw a strop and went on strike, then I'd probably have a different opinion. But I don't see him as that sort of guy. I think if there is a move and talks of a move, even up until the last day, he will give it 100% because he wants to win. Consummate professional is what I would say.
And always on a happy note, shall we call it a day? Shall we give out to everyone, if you want to talk to us during the week, we have our Twitter handles. They should be around us. So
we're also on Instagram. We do have the audio version only of the podcast available on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, I think, or the Apple Podcasts, various different podcasts. If you go onto our Twitter accounts and look at our link trees, you'll be able to see the various places you can download your podcast.
So
if you just want to.
And just a little bit of trivia. See if you know this. With 15 goals conceded this season, which team has conceded the most goals? It is correct. Yes. 100% is Liverpool.
Yes, I did. They were talking about that earlier on TalkSport, where they were saying that Liverpool was sitting top of the league but have the worst defensive record out of the Premier League. How's that work?
We're still winning. It was still winning. We're still top of the league.
Well, they said that last time that someone had conceded that many goals and won the Premier League was Sheffield United. Or not Premier League, but won the top division was Sheffield United, like 1928 or something. So,
oh God,
it'll get better.
Can you imagine if they won it again? Ugh.
What would you do, Mike? What would you do?
Well, I'd press mute on your microphone, so that's what I'd do. You just be a face in the corner.
We'll set up a new channel called FDT-TV.
Yeah. All right. Should we
well, thank you, everyone. Yeah. If you haven't already, like this video, subscribe, and like the channel as well. You can find us, as I said, because Mike said, you can find us on various different media outlets. So if you don't want to see our faces, you can always listen to our voices. Don't forget to check out our other videos. Be more coming out this week very soon.
Like, share, subscribe.
Bye.
And we'll see you soon.